it's Kathianne Lewis, and it's time for a faith lift. And today's faith lift comes from an idea I had, or I should say, a new idea I had about alchemy. Supposedly, there were alchemists in the Middle Ages, and probably continuing on forever. They're probably still out there. And in alchemy, what they seem to want to do and prove is that you could turn iron or some base metal into gold. Supposedly there were formulas out there, and there were others trying to find the formula. Well, what if this whole idea of turning something base, like iron, into something valuable, like gold, although I have to admit right now, probably iron's worth a lot, but not as much as gold. Anyway, what if it were a metaphor, much like many of the stories in the Bible are metaphors? Metaphors, they mean something. They're not literal. They have a mental, emotional, and spiritual underpinning to them. So what would be the metaphor for turning iron into gold? How about a problem into a solution? How about a crisis into a blessing? How about a hurt into a healing? Now that'd be worth something, wouldn't it? Especially for the individual that was experiencing it. And I, for one, have had hurts, and I, for one, have had challenges, and I, for one, have been faced with things that seemed unimaginably difficult. And there is a way to turn it into something beautiful. But what's so interesting is that when I tell you what to do, you're going to say, oh yeah, I've heard that. It's not new information. It's that the people just don't want to do it. And they don't want to do it because I'm not sure why they don't want to do it. I have to look to see why I don't want to do it. Sometimes I don't want to do it because I just don't want to do it. I would rather be right than healed. So how do you turn a bad thing into a good thing? Well, first, the base for that, the reason we can do that is that everything is God. And if God is good, there's a seed of goodness within everything, There is nothing that is outside the substance and the law of God. And the substance of God is good, and the activity of God is good. So the way we turn something we don't like into something that becomes a blessing to us is we bless it. We love it. We love the problem. Jesus said it this way, love your enemy. And we really are against those things. We become against those things that we think are hindering our happiness and our well-being. We just don't want to have anything to do with them. And yet, guess what? Resistance is futile. You know that. Thank you, Borg, for telling us that one. So, what do? We bless. We love. Now, do we have to love it? Like we have to say, oh, goody, I hope you stay with me forever? No, but let's look at one of the definitions I have for love. When we love something, we pay attention to it. We don't deny it. We don't badmouth it. So if we're having a physical issue, we love our body more. We pay attention to our body more. And we say, right in the middle of this, there has to be God. I will know only God, only God, only God. I will know only God. If we're facing a financial problem, then we say, I will not deny you. I will acknowledge your presence and know that there is within this a blessing within it, within this problem, this issue, this financial conundrum. There's a blessing that will take my soul into new levels of awareness and radiating wealth. You have to just do it. It's hard. It's got to be a Nike moment. Just do it. Emma Curtis Hopkins, one of my teachers, said, there's only one don't in metaphysics, and it's don't complain. And if you're not complaining, the opposite of that is praising. So you praise the presence of God in the midst of the situation. You don't say, oh God, I love this situation, but you know that even there, even in the midst of the bodily condition, the financial condition, the relationship kerfuffle, God is. And there's only God. And then you take a deep breath and you let God do the work. Because God realized when it's hard to realize God must produce an effect that blesses you and blesses others. See, it's easy to realize God when you've just hiked to the top of a mountaintop and you've got all these hormones rushing through your body and you're so inspired by the scenery and it's like, oh, God is real. Yeah, well, God has to be real in the midst of the valley where you're tangled up in conditions. Then you know God. And then God is called to work. That's my little lift for the week. Hope all is well. See you later. Bye for now.
It's been raining on my birch tree, and it's sunny outside. It's been struggling this whole year, and a third of its branches have died. But in the middle of the afternoon last week, as I pondered its plight in vain, staring out from the shade of my patio umbrella, I swear to you it began to rain right there, right when it needed it, asking with no words. The universe heeded it out of a clear blue sky, not knowing how or why. Love comes pouring down, you can't explain, and it begins to rain. Nature's often the best teacher in lessons of taking things in stride, to graciously accept the blessings which without fail God will provide. And I'm grateful for the metaphor. It didn't take a brick falling on my head, 'cause I'm lining up with raindrops falling from a blue sky instead. Right there, right when I need it, asking with no words. The universe heeds it, yes, out of a clear blue sky, not knowing how or why. Love comes pouring down, you can't explain, and it begins to rain. I've been wasting time with worry, wondering just how on earth I'd ever make it through. With this miracle in view, I think I'll wash myself anew, knowing how you'd love a tree, how much more you're loving me. Right there, right when I need it, asking with no words. The universe heeds it, yes, out of a clear blue sky, not knowing how or why. Love comes pouring down, you can't explain, and it begins to rain. It's been raining on my birch tree, And it's